Look at them ugly toes. But what I wanted to show you is, it's probably the only way for me to show you just how thick this is. Look how thick this darn Bermuda is. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy thick. And this is on the front yard. Hey guys, Doc. Sorry about the ugly feet, but today I'm going to talk to you about fixing that ugly lawn if you have big brown spots. I'm going to show you the recovery that we did where this lawn was absolutely devastated when we came home, and how over a period of about 3.5 weeks we've done this. We've made it come back to a golf course quality. So hold on. Hey guys, so in the lawn guides, get the lawn guides, they're free. There's Bermuda, there's zoysia, and there's cool season grasses. We leave them up every day of the year. They're free, just use it. It's a website for each one. It's not an app, it's not a book. You just go to it. If you have questions, it answers all the questions and has the products in it. That's number one. Number two, I am going to first put up video of when we first came home. We abandoned this property for 2 months. We shut off the irrigation. We didn't do any fertilizing, any bug treatments. We just let it go for 2 months and came home and it was destroyed. It was devastated. It was horrible. I'm going to show you that first. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this lawn looks like now that's been recovered. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So let's go. First, let me put up that video of when we first came home after 2 months and what it looked like. Wow. So I literally just got out of the truck and we walked out back. I'm tired. We just drove 4 hours home. And this is what I've got. This is what I came home to. Really tall over here. Got all kinds of burnout areas. All these spots here. What is that, grubs? I don't know. Look at this back. And that looks like grubs in here. Big yellowing spots down in here. What is that? I don't know. You tell me. Don't know what it is. Nasty, isn't it? So this is the former beautiful Bermuda lawn that we let go. 2 months, nothing's been done to it. I mean, it really hasn't even been cut. Of course, I told the wife, I said, you unpack the truck. I'm gonna hop on the John Deere and I'm gonna start to knock this crap out because I can't stand to look at this. I went up, this is a true story. I went online, I went to Papa John's, I ordered 2 pizzas, I'm friggin' starving. And I said, I'm gonna go cut, and by the time I finish, in about 45 minutes to an hour or so, I'm gonna eat. But man, this is just disgusting back here. The front's not as bad, but you can just see these areas over here. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? The whole purpose behind this is to say what happens when you just abandon a yard and don't take care of it for 2 months. This is what you get. These are the little details that I would have spotted and jumped on right away. So I'm gonna jump on the John Deere. I'm gonna cut this down and I'll be back in a minute. So that was pretty sad, wasn't it? It was horrible. I gotta tell you, we didn't know how long this would take. So here's what we did. The steps that we did to recover this. Number one is we scalped it all down. You have to have a good 6 weeks left of 80-degree temperatures. Now, if you're in the southeast, you still have that. So you can still do something like this. We basically scalped it all down and got rid of all that old crap. The next thing we did is we just assumed that we had armyworms and grubs. Just assume it. If you've got those big brown patches all over, assume you got grubs. Grubs are basically the only thing that are going to cause those big brown patches that just completely die off because they eat all the roots. So just assume it. Put down your grub treatment immediately, and then immediately I put down PGF Balance, which is an all fast release 10-10-10. In the description below, I'll put up one web page, and on that web page, I'll link to all the products I'm talking about. Everything's there. That's where you can find it. So I put down PGF Balance. The same day, I put down grub treatment, I put down PGF Balance, and I put out PGF Complete. Yes, I put down PGF Complete on top of PGF Balance. They're both mild, but I wanted that fast release 10-10-10 with micros and irons into the lawn, then a coat of PGF Complete for a little bit slower release. After I started to see, and then we started watering like crazy. If it wasn't going to rain that day, the morning I did a watering cycle, even if it was a short 5 or 7 minute cycle on each of the stations. I watered. Got that down into the roots, push it down, push it down, push it down. As soon as I started to see a little bit of recovery, I hit it with Dirt Booster. Organic matter, carbon, and mycorrhizal fungi. That's what I wanted. I wanted that mycorrhizal fungi into the system. Put that down, and I'll tell you what an amazing recovery. So now that my lawn is getting super thick, it's almost getting too thick, and it's growing too fast, I'm stopping right now, and if I see that it needs a little bit of fertilizer, I'll just hit it with green shocker. Now, green shocker is an all fast release. It is so fine particle. I just did a video on this. You can watch it. It's like salt. I'll put a little bit of green shocker out, and that's all I'm doing. We are going to come up into that transition period where we go from 90s and 80s. We're going to go from down to 80s and 70s. And when we start to hit that 70s, guys, we as warm season grass owners need to change what we're doing. So I did want to touch on that for a second because it's coming up, and I want to make sure you guys have the right products. When you start to see probably September, what you got August, September, October. It's going to be sometime in probably late September for us, maybe October, where the temperatures really start to drop into the 70s for highs. The grass isn't going to be really aggressive growing at that point. I'm just going to come out with a little bit of PGF balance, put down a 10-10-10, and then basically shut it off and just let it go to sleep. Let it go to sleep. And then once the really cold weather comes in and my grass basically starts to shut down completely, I'm going to come in with pre-emergent, my late fall pre-emergent. This is all in the calendars and it's all on the website, so we talk about that. Are you going to cut grass today, Linda? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch. In the sunshine, it's nice out. It's nice. Doc made a mistake last week. I adjusted all these GK series reel mowers all the way up, but what I didn't do was I didn't measure them. And so what happened?
Cutting uneven on one side?
Yeah, it was about just under 1/4 of an inch off. One side was higher than the other on the other one. This one I just checked it and it's fine. But we're cutting this. The cut height, the bed knife is at 3/4, so it's actually even cutting maybe a little bit lower. So we're going to be cutting a lot of this pretty green probably down. It's going to have a little bit of a yellow look. Go ahead and start her up and let's cut a few stripes. So this is going to give it kind of a hard cut. So one of the issues that a lot of times that we run into too is when you really push this Bermuda like this, it gets really thick. And so when you keep cutting it short and keep cutting it short, what happens? You get a little bit of yellowing on it, but you can't let it go up. Ryan said, well, let's just bump it up. Well, that's the problem that people run into is what they do is they start to get this a little bit yellowing when they cut, so they bump it up, and then they bump it up, and then they bump it up, and pretty soon you got 3-inch tall Bermuda, and it's just not healthy. I mean, we're keeping this at 1/4 of an inch. I'd much rather have a little bit of a yellowing look when I cut and have it short. It's just so much healthier. Well, you can see all this stuff is now healed up. It's all filling in. Now, we did a little bit of reseeding around the edges, but that really hasn't germinated. It's only that tall. We are working on the putting green. I'll do a video on that. But man, it just looks fantastic out here. What an amazing recovery from where we were. Truly amazing. Again, my point to you is you still have probably, if you're like us, if you have 6 weeks of 80-degree weather at least, you can push your lawn. do one last push on it before you shut it off. When we shut it off, when we get into the 70s, that's when we'll either be using green shocker or PGF balance. That's it. I got a lot of videos coming out, guys. Hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Todd.